Hi, my name is Lacey Holt, and I'm here today applying for the RAP Advanced Facilitator Training. So what is RAP? What does it stand for and what does it mean? RAP, Wellness Recovery Action Plan. RAP is a plan that makes up a wellness cycle. There's components that are on the wellness side, the slippery slope, then into crisis and post-crisis. So we see the whole cycle of wellness. But first, we have the foundation of RAP, and that's the 5 key concepts. These 5 concepts are the basis of where we start with RAP. The first being hope. Hope, I think, is just immaculately important and wonderful and gives you a reason to get up in the morning. 12 years ago, I started with the RAP program as a consumer. There was a wonderful advanced trainer there who helped us through the program. I looked up to her and I saw her as so together and amazing, and I just wanted to be able to see a glimmer of me in her. So 12 years later, I've continued with the RAP program, become a trainer myself, and am now applying for the Advanced Facilitator training. So obviously, she gave me hope. She gave me a purpose and a reason to get out of bed those days, to come to her class. So now I'd like to share that hope with others and be that reason for them to come to class and learn together. The second area of our key concepts is self-advocacy. Sticking up for yourself. You have to be your own best advocate. You have to be the person in the doctor's office when you don't understand that says, wait a second, hold on, where are we at? I'm lost. This way you go further faster. You have to stick up and believe in yourself. So that can be very difficult, but very valuable and rewarding. That's why it is the second key concept. Our third key concept is education. Education is all around us. With RAP, we're not talking about formal education, such as a doctorate or a master's degree, or informal education, such as Google, the library. We're talking about all of it combined. Education is every day and everywhere around us. So, to complete this part of RAP, you don't have to go to school, you don't have to go get a GED, you just have to learn every day something new. So that makes it our third key concept. The fourth key concept is personal responsibility. Personal responsibility means taking responsibility for yourself. For instance, if you trip somebody, you need to say you're sorry. If you make a mistake, you need to correct it. You need to own up and be your own person responsible for yourself. This can be in everything that is a great example, or it can be in things where you need to make changes. Personal responsibility is all around us, and that makes the fourth key concept. Our final and fifth key concept is our supports. Your support system, to me, wraps this in a bundle and ties a bow on it. Supports are amazing. They can be there when you're down. They can be there when you're up. You can have them every day and be a part of your life. Some supports, treatment teams, medical doctors, things like that, family, but yet there's friends, a church family, different things like that. Supports can come from anywhere. RAP teaches that 5 is the golden number for supporters, so be sure to continue to work to find as many supporters as you can. So that's the 5 key concepts in a nutshell. Hope, self-advocacy, education, personal responsibility, and supports. So now that we've got the foundation, the first part of the wellness cycle is the wellness toolbox. Wellness toolbox are very similar to the tools we use as coping skills. Everyone has their favorite coping skills. I've had people tell me Hulu, reading, their favorite food. Different people have different things that they really use as their coping skills. For me, I love adult activity books. Dot to Dots are the bomb. I just love them. The adult version. Taking a walk with my friend, always amazing. Taking my dog outside, letting her play, just relaxing in the sun. So these are just a few of the things that you can do as your wellness toolbox. Now, wellness toolbox are applicable and usable in every stage of the wellness cycle. However, we probably think of them mostly when we are well. So don't forget about them when you're not feeling good. The next section is the daily maintenance plan. Daily maintenance plan needs to be done every day. If it's a good day, great. If it's a bad day, even better. You need to be prepared and have your days scheduled out each and every day. For me, I enjoy making sure I get plenty of rest, definitely taking my meds, responsibility for my dog, eating right, and having a good time. Those are things that I put on my plan for every day. Every person has different lists of things that are important and that they're responsible for. So just be sure you have a plan and you're prepared for each and every day. So far we've talked about our key concepts, the basis, the wellness toolbox that help us throughout our wellness cycle, and the daily maintenance plan. Now this next one is a little bit harder to discuss, triggers. Triggers are obviously something that stirs up emotion in us and just totally takes us out of the blue into a place we don't want to be. For instance, triggers can be people, places, things, smells, just anything, but it just really throws you for a loop. I know a lot of people that their ex-boyfriend may be their trigger, or maybe a smell from when they were a childhood. So there's lots of options. For me, being financial situations, money's always stressful, past trauma experiences, and being lonely are big triggers. So I have to be prepared for those. Just like my participants, we always discuss a trigger, a trigger action plan. So what might be in your trigger action plan? There's plenty of options. You can pick anything that will help you get through that moment. For me, I have an art journal. That is my number one go-to when I get triggered. There's nothing like crayons, paints, markers, all of that, writing out your thought, coloring it, just really getting into putting your emotions on paper. So for me, when I get triggered, that's a go-to. But everybody has different ones. They might include deep breathing, calling a friend, even just positive self-talk. So there's lots and lots of ways to handle these triggers. We always want to be prepared and never end our situation without a plan. The plans are important, just as important as identification of the triggers. So after triggers comes the early warning signs. Early warning signs are as we start down the slippery slope of issues leading to a crisis. These are subtle signs, but they still require action. People around us probably don't see them or know about them, but they're obvious to us. Anxiety, not being interested, not wearing your seatbelt, not taking care of your animal. These are great examples. For me, I tend to not dress up. I just kind of wear whatever and don't put a lot of energy into it. I also sometimes will get thoughts of hurting myself, which has been a repetitive pattern that I have overcome for the last 7 years, but I do still get the thoughts. So they're on my inside and they're in my head, so I see them only, but I have to be prepared for what to do when I get them. So that takes us to the early warning sign plan, the next part of our wrap. So, like everything else, we can use our wellness tools and be prepared. For instance, some people call a friend, they get those activity books out and they go for a walk, they do whatever they can do to get themselves moving and out of the house. I personally enjoy having some fun, going out to dinner with a friend, and being sure to watch how much I sleep. That's a big one for me. Because if I just let myself sleep all the time, that is not good. So for me, watching my sleep is important. So the next stage is when things are breaking down. This is getting towards the very bottom of our slippery slope. These are no longer subtle signs, and they're signs that people around us can obviously see. For other people, they can include being isolation, being very agitated, just all kinds of things. For me, buying those self-harm objects, not eating, not sleeping. My hygiene has gone from bad, like just not dressed appropriately, to now just horrible hygiene. So I can see the difference, and now my friends can too. So when things are breaking down, it needs a plan, a very simple plan at this point. It needs to be more concise and to the point. I even like to present it sometimes as like a 1, 2, 3 pointed plan. Have it ready to go. Don't make yourself choose at this point. You're starting to make tough thoughts and have tough choices. For me, calling my case manager, spending time with my friends, and maybe even taking time off work would be a 3-pronged plan. I feel like at this point you really need to be careful because you're hanging on to the rope at the bottom rung and you're just about to fall off. So as much as you can, be good to yourself. Take time and relax. So let's review where we started from. We have the 5 key concepts that are our foundation. Then we discussed our wellness tools, or also similar to coping skills, daily maintenance planning, and being prepared for each and every day. Those things are more of daily routine items. Then we moved into our triggers, which is the beginning of our slippery slope. We have a trigger action plan and are prepared. Then our early warning signs are the next step. Okay, so we're starting to have trouble, so we have to have a plan. And now we've just finished talking about when things are breaking down and our plan to be prepared for that, which now is more concise and maybe even like a 3-step plan. So we've fallen off the rope, we are in crisis, we just couldn't stop it, and we did our absolute best. So what do we do now? We have that crisis plan filled out. We have it filled out and ready to go. We filled it out when we were well and when we were feeling good because we needed it to be prepared and us to be ready to go in this situation. So what were you like when you were well? You want to remember that, not only for yourself, but for your family and friends. Personally, being curled up in the corner is not a good way to remember me. So I like them to remember me as optimistic, friendly, outgoing, intelligent, and to have this written down is good for them and me. Some of my friends have totally different personalities. They're quiet, reserved, like totally into different things and have a different personality and attitude. So for them, what they look like when they're well would be totally different. So write down what you were like when you were well. The second section is signs that others need to take over. If I'm in the corner, somebody is probably needing to take over because I am not able to take care of myself. So we have all kinds of examples of this. Different people share different signs that they need to take over. For instance, someone with an addiction problem may be using. Someone who struggles with suicide may be having severe suicidal thoughts. For me, having very severe cutting thoughts that I can't turn off can be very, very difficult in a time where I will need more help and in a crisis. So the third section of this is our supporters. So we know we need to help, and this is why and where are we going to find these helpers? Well, we use people around us. Like I mentioned before, the golden number is 5, to have as many as you can. However, I have seen individuals who maybe only have 2, and I encourage them. That is great. Write down your 2 and continue as you go out into the community to build more and more and more. Write them down as you update your plan. Be sure to take your plan to these individuals, have them see it, and be ready, and have them have a copy. You don't want to have a supporter on your list who doesn't know anything about what you're doing. That would not be helpful. So these supporters, you might want to list their tasks and things you've asked them to do in this situation, and also who will settle the disputes. You might pick your oldest friend. You might pick your parents. You might pick your best friend, but there needs to be a simple solution so that you don't have 3 friends arguing over how to help you. Sweet and short is the best way. Alright, the 4th section is your medication section. So be sure to update all your list of medications regularly. Doesn't help if there's old medication listed. You also need to list your doctors and maybe your treatment team that you use. And finally, your pharmacy. For me, I have a particular pharmacy that I really enjoy using, and I would be very disappointed and upset if the first name-based pharmacist I use doesn't get the call. She knows me and knows where I'm at, and I would really like to use her. So that's a wish that's very important to me. The 5th section of the crisis plan, out of 9, is the treatments. Different kinds of treatments that you've tried and enjoyed. Well, for me, I've liked DBT, case management, and therapy. It's a 3-prong approach that has really been helpful. For my friends, some of them go to DBT and have a therapist. Some of them have just a doctor. Some of my consumers that I work with, they may just go in their shelter to see someone. So there's all kinds of supports and treatments that help them. They just need to write them down under what type of treatment they're using or have used. The 6th type is the respite, the 6th part of the plan. Respite. Well, for me, I always thought of respite as a formal treatment. And around here, there's a very lack of respite care in Indiana. But I did learn recently that respite care can also include things like staying at your friend's house for 3 or 4 days, maybe couch surfing for a couple of days, till you can find yourself ready and willing to go home. For me, personally, I tried this for a couple of days and it was really helpful. It did keep me out of the hospital and was a step between being at home alone and the hospital. It was very beneficial. So try to include, if you do have any friends that might be willing to do that or any ideas, put them on that page. 7th comes the hospitals. Everybody's got their favorite. Everybody's got somewhere they've been they didn't like. So just be sure to write down your preferences here so that you're prepared in case you can't make your preferences known. The 8th area is help from others. For me, I need them to not be in conflict with each other and to get the guns out of the house. For instance, and sharp objects. So for me, those are things to keep me safe. Everybody has different preferences that might make them feel unsafe. For instance, some people really don't like yelling. Some people don't like loud music. Different things like that can really affect a person. So these are things that will help you feel safe in the moment. Finally is the 9th section, which is inactivating the plan. For some people, inactivating the plan would be an immediate thing as soon as they're maybe out of the hospital. For others, you would need to take more time and be a little more prepared. You're not quite ready. In activating the plan, you need to give examples of why you're ready and how you're ready. For some people, it might include things like able to take over my own bills, caring for my dog, grooming myself, feeding my cat, anything like that. You might write down examples of things so they can see that those are being done and check them off and say, oh, wow, you're really at where you said you would like to be before I step out. It's a very exciting section. Finally is signing the plan. This is the most, obviously, really important section with this because without your signature, it's not valid. And what you do is you can sign it and this is your wishes and it's stating your wishes. There's always the opportunity to take it to an attorney and see about making it more of a formal document. Well, the final section in WRAP is the post-crisis plan. And these are questions that are between the crisis and wellness. So it gets you back around the wellness cycle to the beginning. I would like to go over the whole cycle of WRAP just at the end, right quick. We have to start with our foundation of key concepts. Then we have our wellness tools and maintenance planning that are helpful in all situations. Then we move into triggers, early warning signs, and when things are breaking down, all which have a plan. And finally, our crisis plan and our post-crisis plan. This is an overview and an outline of the RAP process. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about RAP today. I've thoroughly had a great time explaining it, and I thank you so much for taking time to look at this video. Have a great day.